Hey guys, it's Fredrik from the FWX podcast. I want to talk about something a little different right now because, for as much as I love talking about stories and storytelling in pop culture, there's also another thing that I love doing a lot, and that is listening to music. And I'm a huge pop music fan. And I do mean pop, not just of the past 20 years and the past before that time. So not just the 2020, I meant 2000s pop music or before the 2000s. I'm talking about pop music today that I really love listening to. And I want to go over a list I made recently on Spotify. And I like calling my lists an interesting name. And the one I recently made is called Is Julie Here Already? And that's in all caps, by the way. And for instance, the song I have at the very beginning is from the new Lord album Virgin called Shapeshifter. And I'm gonna go over a couple of interesting songs that I've been listening to from this playlist that I made up. By the way, I sign all my playlists with my. It's not really an artist name, but I like using this name for my playlists. Is DJ Watt. That is W. That is W double A and T at the end. That's my artist name. I know it's not really an artist name, but I like using it because it's what I tend to use when I'm making my playlists. So that first one is Shapeshifter by Lord. I get a couple of others I've been listening to. I could just go through this list and tell you each song that I've been listening to, but then we'd be talking for a long, long while because I just added a bunch more songs that I've been tracking on my TikTok and also on Spotify. And so this list I only made it recently, but it's already stuck with so many songs. Let's just highlight a couple ones that I also love listening to. There's a new song from Renee Rapp called Mad, which sounds amazing. There's an artist called Cat's Eye who has an album called Beautiful Chaos with the song I have in my list called Game Boy, which is also a very good song. I want to point out for a moment that there are a lot of artists right now that are touring in and out of Europe and the United States and in the Western countries, New Zealand, and Australia, and other parts of the world as well. And so there's quite a few of those that are going on tour because they're promoting a new album that they have. And I like to highlight those people too because some of them have been at work for quite a while, and others that are just beginning or getting their hold. It's a weird way to put it, but really mean that the people I especially love right now are those new artists and the people of today that I absolutely love. But as I've said before, I love pop music in general just a lot, and so I want to keep highlighting some more artists here. So one of those people is, of course, Dove Cameron. She's got a new song called Romeo. I've got this one in my list. Someone I've come to enjoy quite a lot is Flower of Love. She has a new song out called New Friends. I also recently saw that she started being the opener for Halsey on her tour. There is a DJ. There aren't that many female DJs that I know about, but this one I've heard for quite a while. It is Alice in Wonderland, who has a new song called Again Fuck. And I got this one in my list. I think we all know about Kesha and the music she has made before. She is making a new album, and I got one of those new songs of hers in this list as well, and that is called The One, which is also a very good song. Another artist that I've come to enjoy quite often, because recently they've also put out a new album, and I'm talking about Haim now, and they have their album I Quit, which is out recently. And I've got one of those new songs called All Over Me in this list. I've come to enjoy another interesting artist called the band Camino. They have a song called Stupid Questions, which is really good. Same thing for the artist Alessi Rose with a song called That Could Be Me. There's something else I want to point out when it comes to pop music is that often they also get used for new TV series and movies. And I want to highlight right now Miss You to Death by Holly Humberstone for the second season of The Buccaneers, which is a very fun song. Then I got someone after her with a newer song called Straighten My Curls by Tora Lamb. That's spelled TAURALAMB. And it's also a very fun song. I've come to really love Kylie Muse's songs, including the new one, Lose Me Too, with a 2 at the end. There's a new artist that I started listening to called Princess Nokia. She has a song called Drop That Gorgeous that I'm listening to these days. So I did say I recently made this list, so I'll go over a bunch of new artists that I didn't know about before. For instance, after Princess Nokia's song, I have Summer Affair by Maddie Middlefield, followed by Glide by LZ. That's ALZZY in all caps. Followed by a song called Messy Love by Vinny, VINI, also all caps. Another song called Time to Go by Sid Taylor. A song called XD by Between Friends, which is in all caps, Between Friends. There's a song called Boys Will Be Boys by Nea. And another artist that I've come to love is Alex Porret with a song called Kissing You. Somebody a bit longer that I haven't heard a lot about, but this is an interesting one called Looking Up by Lauren Spencer Smith on the album called The Art of Being a Mess in all caps. There's a more alternative indie artist that follows this song called Ashley Kutcher. She has a new song called Get Up. One of my favorite DJs of today is Steve Aoki, and he has a new song with Jamis and Bon called Thanks to You. One of the TikTok artists that I like seeing making music, and I do mean literally making music, is John Michael Howell. He's got a new song. He's got 2 new songs in this list of mine. One is Good Day with Mariah Mack. And that is followed up with a song called Hard Time Lover by Griffin and Chance Pena. Then there's a song after this called Take Me Back by Baby Girl, who I've also come to love. Then a bit more from abroad, a song called Free, with collaborations from the K-pop Demon Hunters, which is a show, I believe. Then there's another song called Walk Away by Daniel Javon Knights and Rivio, followed by a couple of new artists that I've put on in just a few moments ago, like Arnett with Coming Home, Real by Lily Kincaid, I'm Falling in Love by Wildflowers and Emmy, Another Person from Cat Kennedy, Home with Avrin and Toby and Aiden, a song called Pull You Closer by Graham in all caps, Board Games by Alex Coles, My Almost Forever by Jonathan Bailey, People, Places and Things by Sonny Tennant, which I also found on TikTok. Actually, all of these I all found on TikTok. There's Can't Get Over You by Jordan Day. Another song called Destiny with Jason Ross, Telecast and Echo. Followed up by Killswitch from India Sean. Nobody's Watching from Fardo. Another John Michael Howell song called Royal Mess. Comes Crashin' by Skaya. There's From a Man's Perspective from Dax on this list. Meant Something by Ida Just, which also sounds interesting from what I've heard on TikTok. There's a song called Body from Karena. There's Temporary Love by Keenan Tay. There's Pretty Little Thing by Marta, who I've heard a couple of songs from too. Then there's Strangers by McDonnelly, Big Heart by Hedda May, Can't Wait Till June by Harrison Pierce, Before the Kiss by Lo Lauren, Am I in My Prime by Maisie, Body by Elle Covs, Marrow of the Night in all caps by Keo, there's Rubik's Cube by Sylvia Daly, Ex-Friend by Ellie Sherlock, The Man by Banks, Swoon from Fickle Friends, Stay from Sarah Light, Poison Ivy by Mia Rodriguez, from the album with the same name, in all caps, Poison Ivy. There's Fairytale Castle by Katie Drives. There's TV by Maiko. There's 50/50 by Liv Harland. A song called Inside by, I'm gonna spell this name, Aygyul. I think you have to say Eigel, it is pronounced. And then a song called Little Life by Glimmers. A song called Earth Girl by Sam Short. And then finally, the last song on this list for now is At Ease by 7 Days. So those are all the songs on this list right now. And this is the first time I'm talking about music myself. And, you know, if you like, you can go to Spotify, you can find my list. It's called Is Junie Here Already? In all caps. And you can follow me if you like. And if you like this kind of content, please give a like. You can also subscribe to the channel if you like this kind of content. Also, please tell me about it in the comments if you like. And I will see you soon in another video like this. See you for now. I've been Frederick. Goodbye.